on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my 2000 KTM 380, and we're going to be starting this thing today for the first time in, I think it's been about 5 years, 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. But first we're going to get into a little history on this bike because I've owned this thing a long time, and I'll get you up to speed. One thing before all that, check out the merch website. I'll put a link below. Here's one of the shirts. But anyways, we got all kinds of shirts, air fresheners, keychains, everything, man. Take a look at the link down below. But anyways, don't want to bore you. Let's get into the history of this bike. Okay, so a little bit about this bike, because most people don't know much about the KTM 380s, or if they even exist at all. Even some KTM guys that I've talked to have never even heard of this thing. So the KTM 380 came out in 1998. There was 3 different models. They made the SX, which this bike is. They made an MXC and an EXC. This bike came out after the KTM 360, so this is basically an updated version of the 360. The 360 was known to have like tons of jetting problems and issues like that. But outside of that, I think from what I remember, they're fairly good bikes. I've never seen one. I've never rode one. Just heard about them. So 98, this KTM came out. I believe they had conventional forks up until the year 2000, and then they got inverted forks. The 380s were also known to have jetting issues. They were hard to jet. When I bought this bike, the previous owner had already put a JD jetting kit in it, and this thing has always ran pretty much flawless with that jetting kit. I've never touched it. I got lucky. It runs great. Suspension was hit and miss. Some guys liked it, some guys didn't. This was the era of KTMs where the frames would snap at the head stem. Pretty crazy. Not a good time for KTM. Overall, I don't think this era of KTM a lot of people really loved. I think this is the one McGrath rode for like a season or something, like in the 250 class, and like immediately quit the season or something. But yeah, so these bikes made 55 horse. They make big time power. They make CR500 power pretty much. So overall, they were basically known for being 500 power in a 250 chassis, because this does use the 125 250 frame with the 380 in it. I can attest to that because when I rode the CR500, and I also rode this bike, this is a long time ago that I had the 500. Not a very big guy at the time. I was pretty young, and I had a hard time riding the 500. It was too big, too bulky. It's not that it necessarily weighs more, but this is just a slimmer profile. Bars are narrower. Everything just felt better about this bike, and I can control it a lot easier. Power-wise, I felt like this hits not as hard as the CR500. But very, very close. On the low end, you know, in the first few gears, it might actually almost be the same. You notice it when you start hitting like 4th gear and stuff like that, the CR500, that's when you notice the torque gain that the CR500 has over this. But it's not a lot different. It's very close. Okay, so I bought this bike back when I was at least 16, 17, 18 years old. I've had it for a very long time. It's been through a lot of stuff. I used to ride it a lot. I rode it 3, 4, 5 days a week for a few years on end when I was younger. Over the years, I don't really ride it much anymore. It kind of just sits. I bought a KTM 300 now. About 3 years ago, I believe, I tore this bike right down to the frame. I wanted to restore it to the point where it's at now. The engine I didn't rebuild because I had rebuilt the engine about 10 years ago, and since then, like I said, I rode it maybe 5 times. It's probably got 15 hours on it, like that. So the engine I didn't touch, but I did tear it down to the frame. I did the suspension, rebuilt the forks. I got the rear shock rebuilt, powder coated the frame, powder coated the rear suspension coil, a bunch of stuff. I Cerakoted the FMF fatty pipe that's on it. I put a turbine core silencer on it so that I can go to Silver Lake Sand Dunes, which was the last time I rode in 2019. I got brand new black Tusk wheels, which at the time I thought were crazy expensive a few years ago, but they've only gone up in price now. I put new sprockets on it, even though it didn't need it. Got a nice gold chain. I put new decals. So the graphics on it are actually custom ones I got made. I think these are actually graphics from a KTM 85 of a certain year. I don't remember, like 2010 or something. And I just really like the way they look. Simple, just says KTM on it. And I basically sent the guy a picture of a 2010 or whatever it was, KTM 85, and I said, can you make these decals fit on, you know, my 380 shrouds? And he did a great job of it. Did all new levers on it, black powder coated levers, put a skid plate on it. But since I redone that, I think 3 years ago, like I said. I never started. I haven't even started it. It's been sitting until today. I feel like I have to start this thing. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to drive it. I don't think I want to drive it, but I do want to start it. So let's bring this thing outside. We'll roll it out. We'll put some gas in it. And let's see if this thing fires up. I think we're going to pull the pressure washer out and clean this thing off. It is super dirty from sitting all these years. Maybe we'll do that first. Whew. Looks good out in the sun. Alright, we got this thing cleaned up a little bit. Put some gas into it for the first time in a very long time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm pretty nervous about this. I don't know why really. Maybe it's just because I've been waiting so many years for this day, like literally years, to start this thing. And I guess maybe just in the back of my mind I've been worried that it's not going to start or there's going to be something wrong with it. You know, it was fully torn down and then never started, so a lot of things can happen, which I'm expecting. But yeah, I'm a little nervous about this, starting this thing. Really, I am. Oh, we need more gas than that. So yeah, I've been putting this off a very long time, but today's the day. Well, that's not a lot of gas, but hopefully it's enough to start it anyway. I'm gonna go get a boot on because I know better. This is a very difficult bike to start. Anyone who's ever tried to start it seems to have a really hard time starting it. Usually no one can start this thing. I guess maybe there's just a technique I have, I don't know. But it's a difficult bike to start. But yeah, let me go get a boot on. I don't feel like breaking my foot today. Let's fire this thing up. Okay, don't mind my shorts and boots combo. Pretty solid, I would say. I don't see anything leaking. I don't know if the carb's getting gas because it doesn't have a clear line on it. So I really don't know what's going to happen here. Let's just start kicking it and see what it does. I'm assuming it's probably going to take quite a bit of kicks, but let's try for the best here. Just started 2 kicks. Unreal. What an absolute beauty, man. It's almost a sign that it just wants to be run, I guess. The 380 also had a really deep sound too. You can tell it from a 250, like immediately it does not sound like a 250. Wild, man. As if it just started like that. Unbelievable. Well, I said I wouldn't drive it, but I can't contain myself here. I gotta drive this thing. I think I'm just gonna take it around the block. That's it. But we're going to drive this thing. Alrighty, guys. Let's go take this thing for a little burn. It's been a long time since I drove this thing. First thing I noticed right off the bat is it vibrates a lot more than my 300. And this seat, I don't miss this seat. It's the worst seat ever. It's a terrible seat. See my My 300 doesn't hit like that. That was 4th gear, and it just wants to kill you at all times. Okay, I'm gonna set up another camera here and get a couple shots, and I think we'll call her good. What happened there? Oh, look at that. I blew a tube. Unreal. I knew something felt weird there. Spun the tire on the tube, blew the tube. Well, what happened to the rim lock? The rim lock's still in there. Well, I guess that's all for today. At least we got to ride her a bit. Part of me knew that I shouldn't have rode it, but here we are. I had to. I guess we'll go drive this thing home nice and slow. All right, we made her back. Overall, pretty successful. I guess I knew something was going to go wrong. It's just how it is with things that you build from nothing and put it together for the first time. There's always going to be something. And I started to think about it. Maybe the tire pressure was low from sitting for all these years, and it probably needed air, and I just went and ripped on it. And spun the tire on the tube, pinched the tube, so oh well. That's a minor detail. Other than that, everything else looks okay. Don't see nothing leaking or pouring out or anything like crazy. So I think overall that's a pretty good success. Well, anyways, guys, that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these 380s. Let me know if you like it, you don't like it. Let me know if you'd rather see more of the 300 in there. Yeah, just appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Stay tuned. There's always more. I'm always doing stuff. Been a little slow on videos lately, I know, but working on it. So thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Hey, subscribe to the channel.